Morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes. It's Monday, the 20th of January, 10:30 a.m. It can mean anyone thing, can't it? It's FPL Talk. It's part 33, and we are pretty much at the end of game week 22, aren't we? Pretty much finished, bar one game this evening, Chelsea versus Wolves. However, without further ado, let's get you guys seeing what I can see. Share that wonderful screen. Let's see what's going on the wonderful world of FPL, shall we? As always, the socials, I'm on them, of course. I'm on Facebook, AJP85-channel. On Twitter, I am on X, which is AJ1985P. That's right. I'm on Twitch, A_J_P_8_5, and I'm on YouTube, of course, where all the videos go afterwards. AJ Hardy 85. Check it out, guys. Like, subscribe, and follow, of course, and send some messages and some comments on each of the posts, and we could be special friends. You know how it works, people. Make it happen if you would. And as always, thank you very much for watching live or for watching later on when I've put those videos up on YouTube, of course. As you can see, we are pretty much at the end of game week 22. Pretty 95% of the matches, 99% of the matches have been played, haven't they, really? And some interesting, shocking results, really. We started off, didn't we, on Saturday, the afternoon kickoff, the early afternoon kickoff, Newcastle, Bournemouth. Very shocked at that game, if I'm honest with you. First and foremost, not only because Isak didn't get any points, but because Bournemouth destroyed Newcastle. You could argue maybe it was there. Bournemouth are really good, aren't they? I did say that could be one of the pick of the games on the weekend, and it was a really good game, but Bournemouth absolutely destroyed Newcastle. If you've got Kluivert in your team, who's been threatening a bit on and off, hasn't he, really, as a player in fantasy? A hat-trick for him and an assist, and let's throw in a couple of bonus points. Oh yeah, we'll have 3 for Kluivert. Justin Kluivert doing really, really well. Kirkes, big target, isn't he, for Liverpool? In terms of that fullback position, he scored, and that's going to further draw attention to him. I think as Semenyo got an assist in that game, didn't score, but either way, got some points in that game, an assist in that one. Some yellow cards thrown in there for Kluivert and also for Kirkes, who both scored. So, yeah, over in the Newcastle side of things, Hall, big player, if you had him for quite a while, flew up in price, hasn't he, really? He's got an assist in that game as well, which took away the extreme amount of goals conceded, and he ended up with 4, which is a reasonable, acceptable score, really, considering they conceded 4 goals, Newcastle United. If you had any other players like Livramento, Dubravka got a couple of points in the end, but that's only because of the 6 saves he made. No 6 saves, and he would have been able to 0 points. Byrne, Botman, Livramento, unfortunately, he didn't get a great deal of points in that game as well. For any people who own Murphy or Isak, again, 2-pointers across the board for those 2 players as well. If you have Bruno Guimaraes, which is possibly unlikely, he only has 2.2% ownership, then he's done quite well in the last few weeks as well. Let's go that. Assist, and then a goal against Bournemouth. So you would have got a few points, and you would have been a lucky sausage for that as well. 2 bonus points thrown in there. So good performance, good game for Bournemouth. Well done. Very disappointing for Newcastle, and very disappointing for any Isak owners, and more importantly, any captainers as well, because you would have only got 4 points in that game as a captain of Isak. Then we moved over to Liverpool, in which I had high hopes. High hopes. Yep, Panic at the Disco. I did have high hopes for this game. For Liverpool versus Brentford, I expected Salah to be involved in some form. The goals, though, didn't come to the last few minutes of the game, didn't they? Was it extra time or extra time added on, wasn't it? Really, really close to the 90th minute when Darwin Núñez knocked in those 2 goals, didn't it? And it made it what would have been a comfortable, uncomfortable game for Brentford, for Brentford versus Liverpool. Liverpool weren't fantastic, missing lots of shots. Trent wasn't the greatest until he assisted in that. Yes, he got a clean sheet, but quite frankly, Brentford were equally as good in that game as well. And it was really, really undeserved in the sense that, I've got to be honest, I know Liverpool were probably the better side throughout the 90 minutes, but Brentford held on. They defended well, resolutely, and if there wasn't that amount of minutes added onto the game, I think Brentford would have claimed a clean sheet and a draw in that game, and Liverpool would have been frustrated. Salah owners frustrated. Always captain Salah hasn't done well in the last few weeks. He's starting to slowly decline, which is odd. Just as you thought he was picking up, really flying. But I did say, if you remember a couple of episodes ago, a couple of parts ago as well, that Salah was one of those players that open play, he wasn't phenomenal. He was good, really good player. He does score from open play. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying, as of recently, he hadn't been that great. He'd been missing the target, shooting waywardly. hadn't been sort of finishing off goals that you'd expect him to be. Composure had gone a little bit. Stick him in front of goal and the penalty spot. He's hammering that ball in the back of the net, isn't he, really? He's lethal from the penalty spot. But it's just one of these things with Salah. He's had a massive, incredible sort of first half of the season, but move it over to the second half of the season. We started obviously only a few weeks back for the previous game weeks, but he hasn't been great in the last few game weeks. He hasn't. Look back yourself if you don't believe me. Didn't do anything against Brentford when we captained him. Didn't do anything against Nottingham Forest. Okay, these are, I wouldn't say Brentford or Nottingham Forest are. Nottingham Forest does really well, but on paper they're not difficult fixtures. Then we go all the way back to the game then against Man United, which he got a goal. But even then we thought, oh, is he going to do anything in that game? And then he gets that goal in the end. It wasn't high-flying, electric Mo Salah. And then we go back to December, when obviously it was the last time that he got a goal and 2 assists. So prior to sort of New Year, really good. Start of the New Year, not so great for Salah. So far, all he's got is a goal. And even that against United, it was there, it was coming, it was going to be a goal, I think, at some point, just because of his history against them. But Salah hasn't been phenomenal. So I captained Salah. I'm not going to hide the obvious. I got next to nothing out of it, apart from 3. That's the only positive. The positive is he technically beat Isak. So any captainers for Isak, technically Mo Salah did better than you guys. So that's good. He got 3 points, which meant we got 6 altogether. That is the only positive, that he got a clean sheet point and an extra 1 more than Isak. 2-0 win. If you got Trent, a lot of people do have Trent in the team. Well done. You got yourself an assist and a clean sheet and a couple of bonus points. It's 11. Very good score for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Goalkeeper-wise, Alisson Becker. Few people have him, 7.4%. Decent ownage. 9 points for that one. 1 bonus point and 7 saves, which is very good. And obviously the clean sheet on top of that. So good performance from Alisson. I had Konate in my team, so obviously I feasted on that clean sheet, which Liverpool got, which is good news as well. Leicester, Fulham. I thought that game would be a bit meh, and I expected Fulham probably just to win, just because of Leicester's history and form. Exactly what happened. Didn't expect a clean sheet, mind you. I thought there'd be a 3-1 for Fulham, or conceding a goal for Leicester. But yeah, clean sheet there. So Anthony Robinson owners, I bet you were happy bunnies right this second, aren't you? Again, yet another good score. Last week you got 7 for 2 assists. This week you got 8, 2 bonus points in the clean sheet. But really, the all eyes went on Smith Rowe and Adama Traore, and they've got the goals. Smith Rowe back again, scoring amongst the goals. Hasn't done that in quite a while, but then again, you could argue he hasn't been playing a great deal if you look at his history. He did get that goal last time he got some fantasy points, would have been backing at Crystal Palace game week 11 when he got the last goal. Same amount of points this time as well. 11 against Leicester. Adama Traore on the score sheet only played 45 minutes. Again, his form and his real chances have been limited. Last time he got some decent points was against Brentford, where he got an assist game week 10. So yes, Wilson I've been looking at because he looks quite electric when he plays. Whether his final pass or his final shot is good is a bit of a questionable thing. But you look at his history really. Chelsea, a game at 18, he got a goal. 19, he got a goal against Bournemouth. 20, he got an assist against Ipswich. Didn't do a great deal against West Ham, surprisingly, because they won 3-2 or 3-2. But against Leicester, he got an assist again. Bonus point. So maybe if you want to take a punt on a player who's fairly cheap and you've got 5.2 and you haven't got Amad Diallo and Mr. Belton because he's 5.5 now. Even Jacob Murphy's gone to 5.1 or something like that now, isn't he? So if you don't want to jump on that bandwagon and you want to get someone who's around that price, 5.2-ish, maybe Harry Wilson. See how Fulham do. They've got some tricky fixtures against. I think they might do well against United. Newcastle lost against Bournemouth, so you never know what's going to happen. Forest, Crystal Palace, Wolves, Brighton. Decent fixtures there. They could do something against Crystal Palace, Wolves, and Brighton potentially. But again, it gets difficult after that point. So perhaps avoid Fulham unless you've got Anthony Robinson in your team or Raul Jimenez, who, by the way, didn't score. So there you go. Next match, West Ham versus Crystal Palace. Once again, a great performance of Crystal Palace. Mateta is definitely on my watch list at the moment. I mean, look at that. He's already got 8 goals and an assist, and that has been sort of explosive last few weeks he's had, really. Chelsea did well. Leicester he did well against, and then West Ham, he's got 2 goals as well. Whether he can be deemed a talisman, I don't think so. Eze's that, isn't he, really, for Crystal Palace? But really good player nonetheless. Clean sheet-wise, definitely something people are looking at, aren't they? Gahey, he got a clean sheet last week and he got that goal, didn't he? He's got a clean sheet against West Ham. Admittedly, these aren't top-end teams. Against Bournemouth, he got his clean sheet as well. Difficult game. Don't forget, Bournemouth took apart Newcastle at St James's Park as well. So maybe Crystal Palace look at those lovely fixtures as well. Targeting maybe Mateta might do a good job. I'm looking at a forward to replace for Nicholas Jackson, depending on how he does today, because Nicholas Jackson is expected to go down in price tonight. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Brentford up next for Crystal Palace, then Man United, Everton, Fulham, Villa, Ipswich. You think maybe a fair few points for that? Maybe a couple of clean sheets in there as well for the guys over at Crystal Palace. West Ham wise, not great. Fabianski, if you've got him in your team, didn't get a great deal of points yesterday. Got two, got a couple of saves, which was what rescued those points, really. He takes away the 3 saves and he would have ended up with 1, so not great. Although you could argue technically West Ham were down to 10 men as well, with Mavropanos being sent off, but irrespective. Eze again involved yesterday, got an assist to one of Mateta's goal. Nketiah got the other assist and Mateta finished with 2, hence why Mateta gets the 3 bonus points. Gay got the 2 and Lacroix got 1. So if you've got any Crystal Palace defenders, well done. You've got a couple of clean sheets there. Arsenal, Villa, that was a bit of a, what's the best way to put it? Watching it on the evening on Saturday, it was a little bit like pulling teeth as an Arsenal fan. It was that typical story where people use the word bottle. I think that's a bit harsh. I really do. But Arsenal themselves are one of those, they're the nearly team, aren't they? They nearly did well against Manchester City. They nearly won it a couple of years, a season ago. They nearly beat Aston Villa, didn't they? But they didn't, and that's the most important thing, and that's the damning part, really. A lot of people look at Saka, don't they, as being the reason why we cannot, and as a team, Arsenal cannot rely on one player. They should have learnt from that. They had the summer to deal with that side of things. Instead, they went Sterling on loan. I do think that Sterling, and did believe Sterling deserved a chance. Admittedly, not at the expense of Martinelli. What are you playing at? But then again, Trossard is doing well. He's probably the only bright spark in this Arsenal team right this second. He really is. Trossard, he's been flying under the radar a little bit, hasn't he? I know he's been missing a chance. I know he slipped over in that previous game and looked a bit embarrassing, but he got 2 assists again. He did well in the previous match as well. And then again, back in Ipswich, he did okay as well. So on and off, he is a bit of a bright spark for Arsenal, really. It's sort of Arsenal's Diego Jota. Comes to the rescue. Doesn't necessarily win the games for us, but comes to a rescue for us as well. And especially after that game against Tottenham in the North London derby against Spurs, we should have done much better against Aston Villa. Even if it was a scrape win, we still should have won that game. So the word simple is poor. 2-2 draw, no clean sheets yet again for the back four and the goalkeeper. It is looking pretty dire, to be honest with you. You go back to Ipswich in game week 18. It's the last time Raya and the rest of the team kept a clean sheet. Then Everton, game week 16. To be honest, Everton was a difficult game to watch as well, where we should have won that. Even the Ipswich game, 1-0 scraped victory, you could argue, but a victory nonetheless. Man United again, where we beat them comfortably. Where has that solid Arsenal defence gone from last season? I know a lot of teams have worked us out, but there's nothing to work out. We were solid. Carry on playing that way. It doesn't make much sense. I think Arteta's trying to be too clever, and that's what's caused the problems. So Havertz got the goal, and Martinelli, I'm happy Martinelli got the goal, obviously, and they even played for that matter. Though he went down in price slightly, which caused a minor issue, but I'm still on par with what I paid for Martinelli, so I haven't lost any money yet on him. Raya got 2 saves, so not much going on. So Havertz and Martinelli, and then Trossard with the 2 assists for Arsenal. Tielemans, Watkins, the goals for Aston Villa, good goals as well, though. And then Cash and Digne with the assists. Martinez got 4 saves, which meant he would have ended up with 2 points. Raya ended up with 2 saves, which meant he ended up with 1. Mad. Trossard got 3 bonus points. Havertz got the 1. Watkins got 2, and Tielemans got the 1. Disappointing game, and that meant that Arsenal lost ground on Liverpool, who did win, remember, against Brentford. Then we moved over to Sunday, didn't we? And that was a great game, wasn't it? At Goodison Park. It was an incredible game. I really enjoyed watching that game. Calvert-Lewin and Ndiaye looked incredible. It's a goal he scored. Wow, fantastic finish. Really accomplished, really clinical, really good goal. Calvert-Lewin's goal was really good as well, wasn't it? Where he sort of jinked it past some players in the box and then curled it nicely in the corner. Really good. Old Calvert-Lewin. Is that going to be a smokescreen? Is Calvert-Lewin going to go back to the way he was? Maybe not. Maybe David Moyes is going to get them playing. Point on David Moyes. Worthwhile considering maybe as an assistant manager. But by him beating Spurs, it's moved them up the league a teeny-weeny bit. So we'll see. And then Spurs had that fight back, didn't they, in the end? Kulusevski and Richarlison did quite well to score their goals. Moore looked really good when he came on as well. For Spurs, own goal for Gray. So defensively, not great for Spurs. Defensively, not great for Everton either, but they won the game and they won't care about that. So goal for Calvert-Lewin and Ndiaye, 2 assists for Ghana. Yeah, Idrissa Gueye, interesting. And then a goal for Kulusevski, Richarlison, and 2 for the substitute that came on more. The bonus points then went to Ghana, which is just a gay, in case you're wondering who he is, the defensive midfieldy player for Everton, and Dye got the other bonus point because Kulusevski got the 2. So well done if you've got, well, in Dye, I suppose. Kulusevski, I know, is quite popular, so he was a good pick for Spurs. United versus Brighton, that shocked me as well. A little bit. I did expect Brighton to do well, score a goal or two, but I expected United to sort of at least draw or win that game by a scrape victory or a fair few goals in this game. But instead, it was a bit of a destruction game for Brighton. Let's be honest, a bit sort of Bournemouth versus Newcastle, that kind of thing. Although Newcastle, you could argue, at the moment on form, a better team than Man United and players as well. Bruno Fernandes got his goal. A lot of people have sold him quite recently and jumped on the Amad Diallo bandwagon. Fair enough. Didn't do anything this game, though. Bruno Fernandes did. He got his goal, and Xerxes got his assist. Again, Xerxes looks like he just runs around like a headless chicken when I watch him play. So, money well spent from United. Minter did really well yesterday. Him and Materne were superb on those sort of flanks. Really, really good play. Both of them got a goal and assist each. And then Jorginho Rutter decided he was going to punish me for selling him. And you know the irony? I say that because I brought him in. He didn't do a great deal for a few weeks. I thought, I'll get rid of him. When I got rid of him, sort of this period of time, he didn't do great for the first day, and then bang, I'll score a goal again, just to sort of middle finger you. Thank you very much, Jorginho Rutter. He got 6 points both games, 20 game week, 21 game. Admittedly, though, the only plus is that he's only playing 27, 21 minutes, so he's not playing lots of minutes, but he is doing well when he does come on. João Pedro owners, nothing for you, I'm afraid, yesterday neither, so you would have got a 2-pointer in that game. The bonus points then went to Bruno Fernandes. Minter got 3, and Mitoma got 2. And then we had the Forest versus Southampton. The thing that disappointed me the most about this game is the goals that Nottingham Forest conceded. And I know they're going to concede, and I know that's just the way it is, but to concede 2 against Southampton, a team that don't do that well against other teams, and with the fact that we know that Forest are quite defensively solid, that surprised me a little bit. It really did. I didn't expect Nico Williams, who's my player, to get 6 points in this game, although maybe I did. But it's always a bogey thing when you think, oh, so-and-so is going to do well, they end up conceding. So in my mind, I was thinking probably 2, best case scenario 6, 2 or 6-pointer. But to concede 2 goals against Southampton surprised me a little bit, it really did. But hey, let's say one word for Wood again. He just doesn't stop, does he, this guy? He's got it and priced up, which shocked me a little bit, just a tiny bit, because he wasn't predicted to go up, and then suddenly he was before I went to bed. So Wood got a goal and assist, really good play. Hudson-Odoi, I mentioned him, and Elanga, really, really good players. Gibson White's doing brilliantly. Aina keeps doing well, doesn't he? And then we've got Anderson, who got his goal yesterday. So Anderson, Hudson-Odoi, and Wood with the goals. Aina, Gibbs White, and Wood with the assist. Bednarek got a goal for Southampton, as did Nonouchi. And, oh God, these players. Ogochukwu, we'll go with that. He got the assist, and Fernandes got the other one. The bonus points then went 2 to Fernandes over at Southampton, 3 for Wood, and 1 for Anderson. 3-2 that game ended. And then the big game, wasn't it? Ipswich versus City. We expected City to win. I didn't expect them to win by 6, though. I really didn't. I expected probably win by 3-0, 2-0, maybe a goal for Ipswich, and Man City get 3 or 4 or something like that. But in the end, 6-0, that's a destruction. Foden on everyone's radar now. But, and there is a but, I did want to bring him in. I was ready to pull the trigger before he went up last night in price, but that's not the reason him going up price. It's the fixtures next for Manchester City. It's not saying that everyone's going to beat Ipswich 6-0, but a lot of teams are going to beat Ipswich, unfortunately. Sorry, Ipswich fans. Same with Southampton. That's the way it goes. Same with Leicester. That's the way it goes, I'm afraid. But yeah, the next games for Manchester City are Chelsea, which maybe they'll do well against. Maybe Foden will do okay against. Arsenal. Newcastle, I think by that point will have come to terms with, solidifying themselves a bit again, especially at home. They won't be ready to concede as much. They'll probably have a game plan. That's going to be difficult for them. Liverpool, for Manchester City. Spurs, well, yeah, potentially a feast for Foden in that game. And then Forest, difficult. Brighton, they beat Man United, but I expect Man City to do well against them and go on and on after that point. So maybe game week 28 or 29 to look at Foden, but you're looking several weeks away by that point. So perhaps, even though Foden's do well, and perhaps because Foden might do well against Chelsea in the next game, the reality is after that it could be difficult for City assets, other than my wonderfully disappointing Rico Lewis. Yeah, I'm probably going to avoid. So Foden got 2 goals, didn't he? Doku got 1. Haaland got his usual goal to punish me a bit more since I sold him. Kovacic got a goal and McAtee got the other one. 3 assists for De Bruyne, and I'm thinking if I'm going to bring anyone in, he could be the one. He only played 62 minutes, which is a bit of a concern yesterday, but otherwise, really good performance from him. Doku did well, didn't he? Foden did brilliantly, and Kovacic, potentially man of the match, maybe. In that game, he got an assist. The bonus points then went over to Foden, who got 3. Kovacic got 2, and Doku got the 1. And then we talk finally about the game tonight. I have 2 players ready to play for Chelsea against Wolves. It is at Stamford Bridge. It's 8 o'clock tonight. Don't forget on Sky Sports. I have Palmer and I have Nicholas Jackson, who need to do well to save my game week. And by that, I mean Nicholas Jackson needs to do well to save my game week, because not only is he predicted to go down in price tonight, so I will jump off him hopefully before that happens, but because my team didn't do well and everyone's got Palmer, so whatever happens with Palmer, that won't affect the average scores, I don't think, in general. Now we take a quick look at my game week points, and let me pre-warn you, I'm not a happy bunny this morning. I'm not. This is my team. That is my points. 28. Now, it might be better than some people's out there, and it might be worse than some people's out there, but 28 points to me is close to pathetic, really, especially as the average is 40, which is not much more than mine, but the reason it's 40 is because everyone seems to have one particular player, Chris Wood. If I had Chris Wood this game week, my points would be 38, 40, give or take the average, and I would have done well. I know what you're saying. Bring Chris Wood in. I'm very much tempted to do that this evening, depending on how Jackson does. And even if Jackson doesn't do well, he's potentially going to be the man to go. He's the full go. So where did my points come for the 28? I got 1 for Raya, didn't I? Arsenal not doing well defensively. Terrible, one could argue. Konate rescued my defensive nightmare week with 6 points, didn't he, against Brentford? Well done, Konate. Doing well, I got rid of Joe Gomez, who was obviously injured, and I was always planning to bring Konate back. Brilliantly done. Nico Williams got 1. Surprised, by the way, Nottingham Forest defended against Southampton. Expected better performance from them coming forwards. 1 point from Lewis, disappointing again, didn't play, came on as a substitute, ruined the chance for me to have Colwell against Wolves today if he would play, and is deemed fit. So I ended up with 1 point only from Lewis. Palmer plays tonight, doesn't he, against Wolves, so fingers crossed he's as well. But again, every person pretty much has Palmer. Every team pretty much has Palmer. Salah did better than Isak, so there's the only positive. But again, I expected him to perform against Brentford, and I've got a goal and assist, 6 in the end for him. Martinelli got me 7. Very happy with him, believe it or not, that he played, scored, and showed that he's a starter really for Arsenal. He should always be a starter. Amad Diallo, disappointing, but then again, he's not. He seems to be targeted because he's the main man, isn't he, for Manchester United? So 2 points only for him. Yeah, again, I expected United to have done better. I expected Amad Diallo. He did have a couple of minutes where he sparking moments in that game where he could have done anything, but no. Wisa didn't do anything against Liverpool. Kind of expected that. 2 points for him. Nicholas Jackson tonight. Fingers crossed, make it happen, Nicholas Jackson, because I know you don't like scoring these days. You love assisting and you love getting yellow cards and you love not performing well, but let's get some goals. Yeah, come on, make it happen, Jackson. Isak, 2 points. Biggest surprise of this game week, him not getting involved, any goals or anything in that 4-1 destruction. And then the bench was 2 points for Fabianski. You could argue he would have done better than Raya, so I would have got an extra point there. Murphy got the same amount of points as Wisa and Amad Diallo, so no points gained or lost there. Kwanzaa doesn't really play for Liverpool. He's a bench player. And Colwell, not starting him over Rico Lewis might well have been the mistake of the game week, because especially if Chelsea keep a clean sheet tonight against Wolves, that will be a kicking yourself moment. But I'm more interested in the players I do have in the team. More interested in the players are hopefully playing tonight. Nicholas Jackson's complete clean bill of health. You watch now. Nkunku's going to start. You're going to Nicholas Jackson's going to be on the bench, and I'm going to fume. But yes, Cole Palmer tonight and Nicholas Jackson hopefully against Wolves do the business and get me well up the average points-wise, because I'm not doing well at 28 and I'm not a happy bunny with that points at all, and nor should I be, to be honest with you. Let me know, obviously, guys, what points you are on right this second. If you've got any Chelsea players, a lot of you have Cole Palmer playing tonight. Let me know what you're expecting from Cole Palmer this evening. Probably 10 goals would be lovely, wouldn't it? Let's see how we go tonight, but let me know, obviously, as well. Price changes, just really quickly. Cliver went up tonight to 5.6. Becker went up last night as well, 5.5. Foden went up to 9.3, and Chris Wood went up to 7.1. I should have brought him in yesterday, but I didn't. Saliba, he went up to 6.2. He went down, to 6.2. Young went down to 4.6. Sessegnon went down to 4.1. Boate went down to 4.7. Garnacho's gone down to 5.9. And Cunha, dropped to 6.9. There you go. The price predictor for today is as follows. Pope is expected to go down. Not sure because he's injured. Semedo is expected to go down to 4.4. Face is being expected to go down for a while now to 3.9. Gomez, the Wolves midfielder, is expected to go down to 4.8. And Nicholas Jackson is expected to go down to 7.9. So keep an eye on those guys tonight. Things that might happen. Murillo might go up as well. Byrne might go up as well. Raul, Aina, Verbruggen might go up. Milinkovic. Keep an eye on those guys. And then maybe Konza will go down potentially tonight. Van der Ven's injured, so maybe Wolfenden might go down as well. Shaw potentially for United. Anderson, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? 4.1 after that clean sheet for Fulham. Why not? And Kundal might go down as well. So there you go, ladies and gents. I wonder how your game week is going. Obviously, as always, thank you very much for watching if you've watched this live stream. If not, thanks for tuning in on YouTube to watch the video as well. Let me know, obviously, in the comments how you're getting on in your fantasy, how you go on this game week 22 as well. And I will see you guys, interesting one, I will see you guys now on Saturday mornings. That's right, a quick announcement. I will be doing Saturday morning live streams now for the next few weeks, maybe even for the foreseeable future as well. So join me at around about 9 a.m. give or take, about 9 o'clock in the morning. I'll post it up on X for the exact time. Saturday mornings, I'll be doing live streams now before the deadline as well. It's a good time to do it. So around about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, I'll be doing a live stream for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and I will let you know where I'm at for that game week as well. So I'll post it on X. Keep your eyes peeled. AJ1985p on X. Check it out. Subscribe, follow, so you know exactly when I'm going to be posting these bits and what's happening. But yes, a bit of a change in my circumstances, so therefore my live streams will change a little bit. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you watching and your support and your views as always. Let your friends and family, any other people you know that like football and fantasy football and FPL to tune in, because I will talk all things fantasy Saturday mornings going forward. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. I've been AJ as always.